Welcome to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party.
On Tuesday.
Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and gabbing, maybe some microphone gabbing at the after party.
With DJ Airrick, Pagey,
It's the classic intro, Tom. It's the classic intro. And I can explain to you right now why. I looked at the new one you sent over, and there is a misspelled or incorrect word in it.
you're fucked up.
So I'll have to send I'll have to send you the info, tell you what was wrong in it, and then you can fix it. Thank you for doing it. But yeah, one of the words is incorrect. So I was like, I need to get that fixed. And I didn't even notice it till 20 minutes before we went live. So there we go. But thank you. I appreciate it, Tom, in the chat. How do you pronounce that last name? Is that Gimavir? Is that how you pronounce that? I'm not sure. It's an Australian name, right? So you should know, right?
I don't think it's definitely not Australian. It sounds it's like it's Czechoslovakian or something.
Oh,
I'm not
okay,
sure.
okay. All right. Let's not be rude, okay? Let's not be rude.
Let's not get canceled.
I know, exactly. It's happening everywhere. I mean, we could talk. I actually think we should talk about that in the stream. I forgot about that topic. I didn't even put it in the headlines because I wanted to focus more on the DC stuff. But Black Panther 2, Letitia Wright. Wow, that was
Quick topic. Did you see the new headphones Apple released today?
I did see an ad for it, but I don't know what's the drama about them. I haven't.
They're like $600 in America. They're $900 in Australia.
Oh, okay.
They're like over the top. Honestly, I would probably get them because they would work with everything. But I literally bought new headphones like 3 months ago.
Oh, is that a flex? Are you flexing on us by saying that? I mean,
one thing that we can use on all my devices because they're all Apple. That's the reason I get everything Apple because it's all on one account. Everything's synced. It goes to the cloud. But I'm not buying them now.
I think it's a flex. I'm going to take it as a flex. I feel like that's you basically throwing money out the window.
Post the biggest flex on Twitter the other day with your $150 flash outfit.
$150. I spent that much money on a flash outfit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I am going to be doing before the end of the month. I think the week of Christmas, I'm going to be doing a special Santa Claus edition. I would look like Santa Claus during a stream. So,
are we doing that right now?
No, not now. It's not close.
Also, this is the Margot.
No.
Look, red microphone, red glasses.
Okay,
red hat.
so guys, Canadagraphs has been eating for 2 hours. He's back now, and it looks like he's ready to join us. So we're gonna add him to the stream here. He's back.
I am still getting set up.
Well, then we're gonna remove Canadagraphs. Let's answer some super chats. Gamerman with a $5 super chat and a Team Airrick member. With his education on Legends, David Ramsey will probably just play some comedic character. I'm gonna say I wouldn't bet against you. I mean, I think you're probably right. We all want Green Lantern, but I don't know. Any thoughts on this? Any opinions on this?
Play
Yeah.
Einstein.
Okay, there you go. Einstein.
I think he had Einstein show on the
Hello, people of Earth.
I think Canadagraphs is ready. He's there. So
I think we already had Einstein. Yeah, we did. I think Mick Rory tried to kill him or something.
Got, like no volume on my end.
Oh no.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Scott here with the $4.99 super chat. I really want to see Diggle as Green Lantern team up with Kara, Barry, Clark, and Sarah. Do you think we'll possibly see it? Well, first, if we're gonna talk about that team up, we have to actually see Diggle as Green Lantern, and we don't know 100% sure if that's going to happen when he comes back on the show. So if he does show up as Green Lantern, I would love to see that team up, but we need to get over one hurdle at a time. So let's get over the Green Lantern hurdle first. And I honestly feel like with the lack of a crossover this year, this is probably the big thing they're going to hold on to sort of surprise us with, if they're going to do it. So I don't expect we'll see a lot of promo for this, unless there's some set photos, hint, hint, Canadagraphs, then maybe they'll put it out there. I don't know.
Yeah, so far I literally have I mean, I don't know what episode Batwoman is on now. Let's say 7 or 8, but I've heard like nothing about getting ready for a crossover. Like nothing. And usually it'd be around episode 8 or 9. So a little weird.
We have Gary here with a $1.99 super chat, always supporting the show here. Is The Flash getting delayed later than February? Well, Gary, I don't think you have to worry too much. We're going to be talking about The Flash at the end of the stream. I know you're going to have to hang out because we're going to talk about it before the end. I believe that The Flash, they may be back filming, as you read in the title. So we're going to talk a bit about that towards the end. But thank you for the super chat. Don't think it's going to get delayed. We'll see. Geek Information, $4.99 super chat, and a Team Airrick member. Almost time for the shows to return. I know we're going to get Batwoman very soon. I'm really excited. I just need some more footage. Anyway, when will Pagey guest star on Batwoman as Nightwing? When's that going to happen, Pagey? When are you going to?
I think they're changing the character's name to Simpwing. And it's. So it's going to be me obsessing over Javicia Leslie's Ryan Wilder, but that's why it's called Simpwing. Okay. So it's a change. I understand the change. But yeah, so that's all. That's the only details I can give because it's not confirmed.
Man, look at Tom here saying no Superman suit today. I know that suit. They're sitting on that suit.
Very surprised.
They are sitting on that
They
suit.
could technically chuck the Kenan Lonsdale one. Didn't they do Kenan Lonsdale the morning of?
Yes, I think they did.
I think when they released
sorry to cut you off. I guess it all depends on what time tomorrow's set is. Because for those of you who aren't on Twitter all the time, there was a very public announcement on like the filming community in Vancouver on Twitter. There is a public shoot tomorrow for Superman and Lois where a hero gets thrown through a glass window. Oh. So there's not a lot of heroes on that show. So who could it be? Right. And this is in the daytime. So I guess, if they don't start the shoot until like noon, they could put it out just before noon, but I'm very surprised it didn't come out today.
Oh. Any thoughts on this? I saw on Twitter there were some funeral shots on Superman and Lois. Any thoughts on that, you guys?
Well, if you've read the pilot script, you know who it's for. So
yeah,
the one that came out like 5 months ago, 6 months ago.
Yeah, so even though I'm sure most of it would
totally
know.
Make no changes to.
No, I'm saying I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. I didn't know if you guys had any thoughts on maybe they switched it up or it was another character. But yeah,
Superman's dead. First episode, he dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. It's literally when they say Superman and Lois, it's Superman and Lois and the kids.
Okay.
So Superman's there. It's a bit of a bait and switch. So it's like Eric's clickbait videos. He'll bait you in, talk about one thing for 30 seconds, and talk about something completely different for the rest of the.
So basically, it's my videos are like War Stew. Then is what you're saying. It's like that. Is that what you're?
Well, I think you're an inspiration for War Stew. So you're the issue. You're the cause. You're the problem. You're to blame.
We have Gary or the super chat. Are you mad at me? Why are you mad at me? Well, I'm not. So I can't answer why because I'm not. So thank you for the super chat. No,
I think it's because of all the red.
Today. Yeah, that's it. That's probably what it is.
Pointed that.
We had a couple other comments here, but I think here's one from Laura. Do you think that Ryan is Catwoman and Batman's daughter? I don't think so. No, I don't think that's going to be the story. I mean, it would be interesting if they went that direction, but I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be that.
I'll tell you what, though, Eric. You were talking about flexes before. I did purchase a new water bottle. on Amazon.
Okay.
It is a camelback. I think it's one. I've taken the sticker off because the sticker was just. I hate stickers on water bottles. It doesn't say. I think it's 1.5 liters. But here's the flex. It's got a magnetic cap.
Oh, that is a flex.
So you turn it and you look, oh, okay, it's not coming off. Then you lift it and it's because it's magnetic. And when you flick over the cap, it's magnetic as well.
Yeah.
It was $15 though. It was on sale. So it's not that much of a flex. It's a bit
that's a huge flex. That's a
cheapskate flex.
For a water bottle, that's a huge flex. Water bottles.
But the issue is I bought 3 water bottles the past 3 months and I keep quote unquote losing them in my car. And I just don't bother to find them in my car. So I just go.
I think a huntsman spider's just taking them. He's just
that's the reason I don't want to reach under my car seat. That's the main reason.
Need to drink too, you know.
What?
Spiders need to drink too.
They can drink somewhere else. They cannot drink it in my car. Gary
here with a hot topic question here, 199. You think Barry and Iris will have a sex scene?
He knows it's not on HBO, right?
Gary, I don't even know how to answer that. So we're just going to leave it at that. But thank you for the super. Jesus. Oh man. Okay. I know. I feel like he is, but we're going to go with that. Let's go ahead. Yeah. What's up?
I know you're going to get angry for me for bringing this up.
What?
Did you locate the sprinkles?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I forgot. If you would have told me like an hour ago, I would have had them here waiting.
I should be the one to have to remind you.
I can't remember stuff like that. You're talking about Australian treats. I don't remember Australian treats. So let's talk about okay, so I mentioned the Letitia Wright thing. I just want to say this because a lot of people on Twitter. What were you saying?
Edgy.
No. On Twitter, people were kind of confused about what had happened with her or whatever. She's gone now. I think she's deleted like all of her social media is gone, everything. So I don't think she's on Instagram or Twitter or anything anymore.
She's probably just getting targeted. So
yeah, well, it's also her PR person probably gave her a timeout as well.
Yeah, I think that's the move that they tell anybody nowadays. If you get in deep trouble, they're just like, purge your accounts. You can come back in 2 months and whatever. But right now, wait until all the heat blows by. You know.
Yeah, I feel like doesn't work as well as it used to, though. I think it did back in the day, but now people just screenshot your stuff and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
People are still working on philosophies from 2006.
Wow, somebody am I the only one seeing Canadagraphs as a robot, or is that happening for everybody or just me?
What?
You're breaking up really bad, like for some reason. Is that happening for you, Pagey, as well?
I think, I'm not gonna lie, the thing isn't on my screen. So I was looking at other activities. So
yeah, I mean he's frozen for me right now.
Oh no, he's frozen for me. It looks like he's gone into looks like he's done. Looks like the end screen of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban when he's on the broom and right the end cutscene. Anyone, is that a good reference? I think it's a solid reference.
Changed off Wi-Fi. We'll see if that makes a difference.
Okay. So the Letitia Wright stuff or whatever. Yes, it was definitely a PR thing. I agree with you. That's sort of like the standard now is either delete a bunch of your tweets or like disable your accounts or whatever. But I think a lot of the problems that people were having with what was going on with her is they were saying, well, she's allowed to have an opinion, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I agree, your own personal opinion on whether or not you're going to take some sort of medication or something like that. Absolutely. Everybody's entitled to that. But when you are spreading content that is literally misinformation and false information and stuff like that, and you have a huge platform, it's whether you want to admit it or not, you have a responsibility to be careful about what you put out on social media. And I think that was the lesson that needed to be sort of taught there, I guess, to a lot of the people, that were following her, is that, she's a huge star and she's got a lot of people that look up to her and she's in a position to become the next lead for Black Panther. So I just feel like if you're going to question stuff, that's fine, but link videos from, people who understand what they're talking about, like people that actually work in vaccines, like doctors, scientists, virologists, people that actually do that kind of work. And the only reason I'm even addressing it now is so if anybody comes in and wants to talk about it, I'll just tell you to go back and watch it on playback, because I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it. Either way, my point is that the only thing she did wrong is she was negligent on what she decided to put out, because we truly don't know how a lot of celebrities feel, because a lot of them have PR people that will not let them just share anything they want to share. So the mistake that was made there was something wasn't vetted before it went out, and so she took the brunt of it, and there you have it. We'll see what happens, though. I mean, I am curious if she's going to come back to social media, or what's going to happen with her down the road, because I don't think Disney's going to do anything. I don't think she's going to lose her job or anything like that. I'm sure that that's not even in the realm of possibilities, but I do think she's probably going to get a little timeout from the PR people, I would guess. What do you guys think? Any chance of her getting in any major trouble over this? I don't think there is, but a lot of people are saying that she should be canceled and, taken out of the movie, stuff like that.
I just think by the time Black Panther 2 even films, let alone films and goes into like the promotion part of things, this will be so far out of people's minds that unless she's done something stupid again, 99.7% of people won't even remember that happened.
Yeah.
Well, it's important to remember about 99.5% of people probably didn't know it happened.
What was that, Pagey?
99.5% of people probably didn't even know it happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And that's why
that amount of people that will go and see, like that percentage that go to see Black Panther wouldn't even know that she tweeted that stuff out. So it won't even matter.
I say this to people all the time. What happens on Twitter is still a low percentage of people that get that message. Like, yeah, so what if your hashtag is trending #1 on Twitter? You know what? Like 9% of the people in the world actually saw it.
It's like when the Flash comes back and Ralph's not there. Everyone's going to go, why did Ralph go? Where's Ralph? Because they wouldn't even know. Like pretty much everyone that watches the show will watch it and go, where the hell's Ralph?
Yeah. And whatever storyline they decide to use to write Ralph out of the show, people will just assume that was always.
Yeah, everyone would just assume that the actor just decided to leave or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I don't think it's going to be a bigger thing than what it is. My biggest issue with it was that the people that follow her and look up to her, when you send out information like that, those people are directly affected by it. I don't think it's going to affect her job at all. I don't think it's going to affect it at all.
I mean, KJ Apa told people to follow a doctor that wanted people to take hydroxychloroquine, and CW didn't even so much as like give him a stern finger wag.
Wait, who said that?
KJ Apa.
From Riverdale, yeah.
And there's a weird bar that seems to fluctuate based on how big of a star you are. Of what is and isn't approved.
Yeah, I think what people are missing here is for the people that didn't actually watch the video, well, congratulations, you saved a bunch of time of your life not having to watch that. But regardless of the information that was public from the video, the person that made it was giving out wrong information, because he said in the video he didn't understand how vaccines are even made, but yet he's questioning things that are going into the beginning stages of a vaccine, like when you're in the lab basically testing things with it. It's not even the stuff that goes out in the actual vaccine. And that was the problem, was he was sending out information about ingredients that are not going to be in the final vaccine. That was the big red flag there. Also, there was some transphobic and anti-diversity stuff in the video as well. So there was a lot of things in it that just weren't very good. So it doesn't really matter too much about the information. It was the source that she was pulling it from. And that was a person that just made a video and kind of basically is on the fringe of what's going on. I'll be honest, it's when it comes to social media, like you guys said, like, stuff that happens in the world of Twitter or even TikTok or Instagram or whatever, the vast majority of people who watch the shows and things like that, they don't necessarily keep up with all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be something that's going to follow them around unless it's really bad. And I don't think this was even close to being that bad for it to follow around. And honestly, I don't think there's some people that think she should lose her job or whatever. I don't even think that should happen. I'm not a big fan of the idea of cancel culture anyway. I just think that if you have a platform like that and you make a mistake, you should acknowledge it and move on. And that's pretty much how I feel about it. Yeah, the apology wasn't even really an apology, actually, but it's whatever. All right, so let's move on to the first official topic. We're 20 minutes in, and we're getting to our first official topic, but it's okay. The topics today are going to go by pretty quickly, so we're going to spend a lot of time chatting with you guys. Actually, I want to answer the super chat here before we get into the topic, which is from Anthony. And it says here, 1993, Lois and Clark or Superman and Lois. Well, I can tell you now, I wasn't a huge fan of the 93 series. I didn't find it very interesting at all. I mean, I was young anyway, but it just never appealed to me. I think it was meant for an older audience. I might like it now. Like if I go back and watch it, I might say, oh, this is really good. But no, I didn't really like it then. And we haven't even seen anything from Superman and Lois. But I have to say, I think Superman and Lois is going to be more akin to something that I like. So I'm going to go with that. Just knowing that's because I love Tyler Hoechlin and Betsy. So, yeah. Any thoughts, guys?
I never watched any, I think, of Lois and Clark. If I did, it was like in passing, walking through a room as someone else was watching it. So, I mean, I've already watched more Superman and Lois just from them in Crisis than I did of that show. So, I guess I have to go with Superman and Lois by default.
Yeah. Pagey, were you a fan of the 93?
I've never watched it. I just know that my mum used to watch. My mum used to love it. She used to watch.
Oh,
it.
really?
She told me that when she was pregnant with me, she used to watch ER when she was up with me at night all the time. I think she was obsessed with George Clooney. And then when she was with my sister, when she was growing up, she used to watch Lois and Clark and ER. Still ER.
Yeah. So I just want to read this out. I don't even think this is really a question, but this is a $4.99 super chat from Gary here. I don't think there'll be an E-sex scene would be different from a regular sex scene. But I think there will be a sex scene with all the restrictions as flashback to film and they're shut down. What do you think the show's? Everything Flash related, Gary, we're going to talk about at the end of the stream. It's going to be the last topic. So just hang around. I'll get to it. And as far as sex scenes go, I don't think we're ever going to see anything like that on the CW.
If you want them, onlyfans.com/airricksreloaded. That's the place to
go. No, that's definitely not the place to go. Nobody wants that. All right, so first topic. Let's jump into it's going to be another Marvel related. We might as well just do the Marvel related stuff and do those first.
We're as determined to get a win for Lois and Clark.
Yeah. So this is Marvel related, but I do want to talk about it because it does sort of tie in with what's going on with the Flash film and the concepts for that. So Spider-Man 3, the third installment of the MCU Spider-Man franchise, is bringing back Alfred Molina's Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 and past Peter Parker's. Now I saw something about Andrew Garfield. I don't know if Tobey Maguire had anything quote unquote confirmed. But these are like Collider and Hollywood Reporter. I've seen one from Variety. It seems like this is legit news. Like, I don't think this is fake at all. I think if this information is wrong, it's being sent out wrong to everybody. So I'm okay with this because I really liked this version of Doc Ock. I think this is fine. I'm just curious, like, what is this going to be like? Are we thinking this is going to be similar to the Flashpoint movie? Is that what we're going to get? Or any thoughts on this at all?
From what I've seen, like various group chats, that are people that are sort of in that Marvel thing, it seems it's small roles for all of these different characters. Like with even the Spider-Man that are coming in, like they're even smaller than the villains. So it's not like, and I'm not saying they're in there for like 2 minutes, but they're definitely not like Vulture in Homecoming or Mysterio in Far From Home, whatever it was called. So it's smaller roles, but apparently it's just there's multiple villains that all them together is the normal screen time one villain would have in a movie, like Mysterio, but it's split over multiple characters. But apparently it's pretty much just Sinister Six, and they're hunting Spider-Man after he got #exposed because he's at his lowest.
Yeah,
so it's pretty much Sinister Six, but they're not calling it Sinister Six.
So I want to say this. I feel like cool as this could be, because it is like a Enter the Spider-Verse type thing. I feel like they want a Sinister Six, but they want it so they want it now. They don't want to put in the work to build up the actual Sinister Six, so they're just bringing the characters together from other films, so they just have them ready.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's also unclear whether it's a straight up multiverse movie or not, or it's like partial, because they've already like it's heavily insinuated that they're different takes. Like it's not the Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2 because he died. Right. So it's a different take on the
just
character.
Like Electro is not going to be the same exact.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, Electro is going to be different. So it's the same actor playing the character, but it's a completely different take on the character. So I'm sure there'll be some similarities. It's the same actor, but that makes me wonder: like, is only one of the villains from the multiverse, or none of them, and it's something else that ties in the Spider-Verse if they're going to do it? So I know it'll be interesting, but it's not like it's the same characters just showing up from the previous movie. It's a different take.
Canadagraphs, have you seen the MCU Spider-Man movies 1 and 2? Homecoming and Far From Home.
One of them. We're talking about the Tom Holland version.
Yeah, the one from the current.
I've seen at least one of them, maybe both.
Yeah. So one of the big complaints about them is that he hasn't really had a proper solo film. And I've seen that a lot on Twitter, is I feel like every movie has been sort of a group movie. But I'll be completely honest, everything after phase 1 of the MCU has kind of been buddy cop filmed, or movies that contain more than one character, because I think they try to like get as much screen time for these actors in the films as they can. This Spider-Man's never had that opportunity. I mean, he was introduced in a group film, so he's never really had the opportunity to have his own thing. Does any of the Marvel stuff actually film up around where you are, Canadagraphs, or no?
Not in a long time, I don't think, if ever.
I wonder if that'll change with some of the stuff that's going on.
I mean, I know we had DC films here in the past because Man of Steel filmed here, but as far as Marvel goes, if there was one, it was very, 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 very early on.
Yeah. Thomas here, Team Airrick member, thank you so much. Says, on the WB stuff, with people like Michael Keaton meant to be in Flashpoint, I wonder if him and other bigger celebs like, say, Bale would still do it if it's not in U.S. cinemas. I'm only bringing this up because I want to address, we're going to talk, that's the very next thing we're going to discuss. But we will get into this. So I wanted to put this out there so I can remember it, get it burned into my brain. There is a lot to talk about when it comes to what's going on with WB and some of the news involved with that. And some very hot takes about Nolan going out there on social media. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. So as far as the Spider-Man stuff goes, I wonder what you guys have, your thoughts on everything. So if you're watching this on playback, leave it down in the comments below. And right now in the chat, let me know if you guys are excited about this movie. Does it feel like they're just kind of piggybacking off of the Batman Flashpoint news, or do you think this is something that's been in the works for a while? Because I feel like it's bouncing around. Any thoughts on that, Pagey?
I don't know. I'm sort of like, I think they're going maybe like doubling down on it because of Flashpoint, but I think they always had a plan to do some sort of live action multiverse thing just because of Mysterio dropping it in Far From Home. Like, even though it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Demonetized. Even though it was,
we have already gone past that. Well,
even though it was doggy poo poo, what he was saying, he still referenced everything. They even like referenced the whole Earth and stuff like that. So I don't know if I have a feeling their plans probably changed once they knew that Flashpoint was going to be a thing. But I don't think like, oh my god, the idea to just do Spider-Man as a multiverse movie or bring them all in was created from that. I'm sure it was in the plans, but they probably doubled down on it in regards to the size and scope of it, just because Flashpoint, as we know, is going to be fairly big in regards to characters showing up and what they're doing there. So the thing is that like with this, it's just purely Spider-Man, but with the Flash, it's entirely DC. Right. Like you're probably going to see a version of Superman, a version of Batman, a version of Wonder Woman, whoever else it might be, another Flash like Grant Gustin or whatever like it is. Yeah. So it's gonna be more varied. While this Spider-Man movie is gonna be straight up Spider-Man, it's more when you get to like Doctor Strange and the Doctor Strange 2, where they're gonna jump into Flashpoint-esque stuff. And I think Doctor Strange 2 actually goes into cinemas before Flashpoint. Yeah. So DC, Warner Brothers just can't win in that regard.
I don't know, man. Space Fluff here goes, what's your opinion on the MCU Spider-Man? I know you said a previous stream your favorite is Andrew Garfield's version. Yeah, I did prefer, out of the 3 that we've had in live action recently, I do prefer Andrew Garfield. I really liked his Spider-Man and his Peter Parker. My second favorite would be the MCU Tom Holland, and then lastly would be Tobey Maguire. I just never, there's a lot of actors that I'm not like big on, so if I see them as a character, I tend to not be just, it doesn't really do much for me. I think we've talked about Hugh Jackman. I'm not a huge fan of Hugh Jackman. So, but yeah, Tobey Maguire was never a big actor that I looked forward to. So it wasn't my favorite Spider-Man. Had that been the one moving forward, I would have been okay with it. But yeah, in that order, it would be like Andrew, Tom, and then Tobey. You guys have a ranking of your favorite Spider-Man, or how would you rate yours? Any thoughts?
I would definitely put Tobey third.
Okay.
I think the first and second, I'm capable of interchanging first or second depending on my mood.
Yeah. Any thoughts on yours, Pagey?
I think mine's the opposite of yours. I think mine's probably Tobey Maguire first, Tom Holland second, and Andrew Garfield third.
There's a lot of people that love Tobey.
Main reason I just grew up with the Spider-Man movies. Like I remember going to the movies. I think when the first one came out when I was like 7, I think.
That's a flip.
So I remember 7, and I think the second one came out. I remember going to a birthday party at school when one of my friends, hashtag, well, it's a bit of a him flex, but like went to the movies and watched Spider-Man 2 for his birthday, and I was like, yeah. So I remember that. I remember like going to Spider-Man 3 after school as well.
I will say out of the first 3, I think Spider-Man 2 was the best one in my opinion. I really, really like that second film. So there you have it. Staggervore. Wait, did we just? Oh no, this is Smallville. 199 super chat. 1993 Lois and Clark or Smallville. Smallville. Like, is that even a question? Do we even have to answer that? I thank you for the super chat, but like Smallville is like one of the best shows I've ever watched. So how I feel about it. I love that show.
I'm going with Lois and Clark only because I despise many people on the Smallville cast.
Oh, who is your least favorite on the Smallville cast? Come on, give us a hot take.
Surprisingly, not Tom. I have to go with Allison Mack. I mean, not just because of her post-career work, but she was the most miserable person even during filming. And I wonder if a lot of that has to do with what she was wrapped up in. I watched Rosenbaum did a podcast recently talking to someone who was connected to that stuff, and they talked about seeing her change like in the time they knew her. So I wonder if that's just part of those changes, because she really just was not a people person in her.
Yeah. So there we go. There you go, guys. Hot take.
There's a lot on that show I don't like.
Background information. You should do a whole stream about it, like why you hate Smallville. That would be great. I'd come in and watch that.
To this day, I did a blog post about, and the title said something like, and a few negative words about Tom Welling. To this day, it still gets views, like just in little clusters. Like people just still want to hear about Tom Welling off screen.
Wow. So we have Gary's question here. We're going to answer this, and then we're going to get into Pageys pick for this week. So, Gary Gammon with the 1-9 super chat. Do you think Black Lightning will end in May? I haven't done the math in my head. When is it? If it's going to be with the amount of episodes and when it premieres, will it actually end in May, or is that just?
I hadn't done the math yet either.
Yeah, I mean it's roughly. Yeah, I mean if that's.
It starts early February, right?
No, it starts in the beginning of it starts in the beginning of February. You're right. The first week in February, and
it ends May.
Yeah,
it ends like normal.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it would end in May. That's right. Yeah, I mean, I think it will, unless something happens. But I haven't heard anything about Black Lightning delay.
I mean, it might push into June. Just depending what scheduling issues there are, say around March Madness, or if there are delays in their own filming. But I don't think it's going to go super late into the summer. Probably not even into summer. Probably like the latest points of spring.
This is so wrong. So wrong. So wrong.
But I was so right.
No. By the way, speaking of, we didn't, before we get to Pageys pick, and I'm not going to talk a lot about it. Maybe we'll wait till next week. We might have some more news on it. But with that Naomi show coming out, and I think you talked about this, Pagey, in one of your videos. I think the Naomi video, it's pretty obvious now that Green Arrow and the Canaries is not happening, right? I mean,
the fact that one of the
Sometimes we have
showrunners
to have
for
this
Green Arrow and the
conversation.
Canaries is the co-producer and co-writer of the Naomi show on the CW. I think I think that's sort of heavily. This is probably the most supportive argument to say that Green Arrow and the Canaries isn't happening. Outside of the fact that the people that are associated with the show aren't even talking about it anymore. This is the actual thing that's come out with someone signed on to something else to say, yeah, it's probably not happening.
Yeah. So Tom here with the $2 super chat, he loves to get us talking about like drama. He just loves it. I heard about it. I looked into it, and as of right now, unless something new has been released about it, I believe it's all speculation at the moment. I do believe that it's a lot of basically people assuming based on insider information. When we actually get some like official stuff about it, I will probably have more to say about it. But right now, if it actually ends up being true, it's a lot of bad stuff. A lot of bad stuff, especially what the actor who has all those, like he basically has what was it? I think they found online like offender. I'm not going to use the other word because I'm not trying to get double demonetized, but he has a quote unquote offender charge online that you can look it up and everything. It's bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, if that happens, I think that's a bad take from them. But we'll see where it goes. If it's true, we'll talk about it in more detail. Right now, it seems it's still sort of speculatory, but we'll see. It's not. I don't like the direction it's going in. If it is in fact true, so we'll see. All right, so we are now in the portion of the show where we're at the sort of halfway mark. That means it's time for Pageys Pick. So what is your pick this week?
Okay, so everyone loved the food edition last week. So I went for one that is, it's almost like some recommendations, some quarantine recommendation that you might enjoy. I've gone Pageys Pick, in no particular order, top 5 Australian films.
Oh, all right.
So you might enjoy these.
I already know what number one is going to be. I already know what
Kangaroo
is.
Jack.
No, it's not even on there. It's not even in the notable mentions. I'll tell you what, though, there is. Well, I put in the notable mentions. There's one there straight up for the meme. There's one up there straight up for the meme.
Crocodile Dundee 2.
Oh God.
Well, I don't count them as Australian films because, especially the second one, I think that was straight up. Hollywood went, oh, we need more money.
Australia film.
No, that film was terrible.
All right, so I'm curious. Top 5. Come on, let's do it.
Okay, so number 5. Now, me and my mates have it's honestly, I found one of the DVDs for this movie on eBay. It was like finding the Holy Grail because we have a theory that one of the actresses in this movie, who's now a Hollywood actress and married to someone big, went out of her way to make sure no one knew this movie existed. This movie is called The Wannabes. It's like, so you know The Wiggles? It's like a comedy take on that. It's by this Australian comedian that's most people in Australia know him. His name's Nick Giannopoulos. And so it's a take on that. It's called The Wannabes. I think it's got another name. It's like Criminal Intent or something like that. I think it was like the international name for it, but it's called The Wannabes. And it has Isla Fisher in it. So Isla Fisher's in it. I think it's her first movie role. And
it's got a 4 out of 10.
And we have a theory that she went out of her way to make sure this movie, you can't even illegally download it. It's not on any streaming services or anything like that. You can't even buy it off iTunes. It's non-existent. I have a theory. Well, we have a theory that she's gone out and done this, but I found it on DVD.
Movie again?
It's called The Wannabes, WANNABES. So it's like a take on The Wiggles.
Okay.
On IMDb, they listed as Criminal Ways.
That's it, Criminal Way. I knew a criminal something, but that's like the international name, I guess, that they gave the movie. Or it's the cover name. On IMDb. It's a great movie. I love it. I remember watching it. And it's hilarious. I guess you have to be Australian to find it funny.
The premise for it is the world's worst actor Danny meets the world's worst crook Marcus, and their lives are forever changed.
Yeah, it's great. It's hilarious.
Wow. You know what's interesting also is,
Type up into YouTube if you want a funny thing. Type up the Wannabes "Smelly Socks." It's one of the songs they sing in the movie. Smelly socks, smelly socks.
Yeah.
I like wearing smelly socks.
Yeah.
I was gonna clean
What a
this
song.
now.
No, it's on Amazon, but you can't get it. I think I found a way you couldn't get it actually, like it, or like internationally you can get it or something. It was weird. It wouldn't let me buy it. But funny story as well. Isla Fisher and Sacha Baron Cohen are currently in Australia. They're literally living like 10 minutes away from me. And someone I knew from school was at a cafe.
Flex.
Someone was in a cafe, someone I knew from school. And she and Borat, freaking Bruno, walk into the cafe and they tell the guy that he has an actor's face and he should get into acting. At the moment, he's a physiotherapist. He should get into acting. Anyway, there's the little funny fact for the day. So that's number 5, the Wannabes. Definitely look it up. Toot, chugga, big red
Nora
car.
here with the $2 super chat says Rabbit Proof Fence is good but pretty depressing. I guess that's a movie as well from Australia.
Yeah, well, there's a lot. I've put one movie in here. I don't know, maybe there's 2. Anyway, next movie you might actually know is Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom is very good. I think America made a TV show on it. I haven't even touched the TV show, but Animal Kingdom is a good movie.
All right.
It's got Ben Mendelsohn in it. And is Joel Edgerton in it? I think Joel Edgerton's in it. Oh, God, I've got the Wiggles stuck in my head now. Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. Anyway. The Wiggles was my childhood, and then the actors changed, so it ruined.
Well,
yeah.
That's a hot take.
Did you watch the Wiggles, Eric?
No. I know the music from it, but I did not watch it.
I can tell you there's home video of me watching the Wiggles when I'm like 5 years old. Sorry, like 4 or 5 years old, dancing around in a skivvy, like one of the Wiggles shirts. If someone donates like $50 one week, I might show it on one of the after parties. I'll try and get it off my mum and try and convert it to digital. It's there's that. And there's one of me there's 3. There's me dancing to Wiggles in front of a TV, me in a bat suit, just being an idiot, and me as a Power Ranger on the street.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's also one of me naked, but that
will
obviously,
not be, yeah.
that is obviously, yeah, we're on the wrong side of the internet for that,
Okay.
so that will be remaining hidden.
All right.
Eric's just making sure clipping what time was that on the stream. Let me make sure I can delete that.
Yeah, okay. yeah.
Anyway, number 4 was Animal Kingdom. Number 3, I actually watched this a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my God.
Muriel's Wedding. Have you ever seen Muriel's Wedding?
Yeah.
Great movie. What a movie.
That one I've seen more than once, actually.
Do you love it?
Muriel's Wedding. I just remember watching it more than once. I don't remember what the context was.
Okay, this one I actually watched the other day, and Eric might actually know what I'm going to say. Do you know what it is?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Oh.
Watched it the other day. I was on Amazon watching someone, and I was like, it's a good movie. I
remember the funny thing about that was I remember I was working at the mall when that kind of came out. Yeah, the mall. I was working at the mall when that came out, international, like it was able, for people to buy it or whatever. And I worked in a music store, and we sold VHS and DVDs and stuff like that back then when VHS was still a thing. And I just remember everyone kept coming in and asking for that. We had to order it like several times a week. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. So it has a great soundtrack, by the way. If anybody likes classic music, it's got a lot of fun songs on it.
Yeah. The fun thing is that it's like starts on Oxford Street and everything like that. Went down Oxford Street every single day I went to school. Anyway, Oxford Street's an interesting place. Well, actually, not all of it.
I have a question, though, about that movie. When they're going to the resort, like in the middle of Australia, is it really like out in the middle of nowhere? Is there nothing there? Because they kept saying it was like basically... It was
Alice Springs.
Yeah.
Alice Springs is literally in the middle of nowhere. Like it's this big city in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was in the middle of the country, or the continent, or the whatever you guys call it, Tasmania. But I didn't know if it literally was like a nothing place, or if there was a city.
Well, well, there's like it's like one of the cities and stuff, but it's definitely not like anything big, but it's still a city.
It's
And
not like
definitely
Sydney or Melbourne or anything like
No,
that.
it's not like that.
It'd be like being the largest city in Montana. Like it's the largest thing there.
Well,
but
it's probably like Vegas. I guess it's nothing like Vegas, but in regards to like how it's just there, like it's just all this desert around, and then there's just Vegas is there.
that's
There's probably
actually
something like that.
except for Vegas is more Vegas-y.
But it's definitely more like it's almost like a coastal Australian town just in the middle of the country.
Okay,
that's probably the best way to put it.
All right, so here we go. Is it time for the number one Pageys Pick?
I got some notable mentions.
Okay, go for it.
Red Dog. You ever seen Red Dog? It's the only one on here that's actually made me cry. The ending made me cry.
Yes, I've
anyway,
seen that.
Red Dog. The Babadook. Have you seen the Babadook?
Yeah, I've seen that more than once as well.
Shit my pants watching that movie. Saw it in the cinemas. Didn't know what I was getting into. Shit myself. Anyway,
the Babadook had me Baba shook.
It's a good way to put it because definitely, that's how it got me. I put The Dish. Have you seen The Dish?
No.
It's like it tells a story of like because like the Dish is like it's a movie about it's set in Australia, and it's about like a satellite dish when they did the moonwalk, the moon landing in 1969. I think they wants to get the pictures of him walking on the moon because it was on that side of the Earth, so they had to relay through the Australian satellite down there, but it went out of power. So it tells the story of it. How about the pictures from the moon landing never happened or something like that?
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, conspiracy theory. It was filmed in a studio, whatever. But like, that's a story of that whole thing. Anyway,
right.
It has what's the guy's name? He played the Tick in I think the animated series, like The Voice.
Don't
He's got
know.
a really deep voice. Oh, what's his name? I can't remember what his name is. What was the other roles he's been in? Oh,
I'm not familiar with The Tick at all. It's not. I don't think I've ever even seen one episode of that.
I'm trying to look at the guy's name. It's
Patrick
Patrick Warburton. You'd know his face when you look at it, but I was like trying to remember what his name was. Anyway, next up, this is the classic. You probably not even heard of it, but I put The Castle in here just because it's always on TV.
Nope.
I'll give you a brief synopsis. It's about a family in, I think, Melbourne. So they've already got two heads. But anyway, they're in Melbourne. So, but they live next to an airport and they want to expand the airport. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious because he talks about how he got it for a bargain. And it's next to the airport. So all these planes go over. So it's always noisy. Anyway, you have to watch it anyway. Look up The Castle. It's funny. And they want to buy it, and then they have to get into like a legal battle. It sounds boring, but it's hilarious. Anyway, The Castle's funny. And then I put Fat Pizza for the meme. If you want to see Rebel Wilson in her first theatrical movie where she doesn't even look like Rebel Wilson and she plays a character, let's just say, you can look up Fat Pizza. So if you want to look up Rebel Wilson at her worst, you can see that. That's
perfect, so I've seen her at her worst.
What's the other thing? What's the other movie? So you know who Rose Byrne is? She had X-Men and stuff like that. She's in a movie called Takeaway about a takeaway fish and chip shop. About takeaway fish and chip shop and a hamburger shop that are trying to fight against a fast food like McDonald's ripoff shop.
Sounds riveting. Absolutely riveting.
Australia has some of the weirdest.
Okay, so I am very excited to hear what the number one is because I think I know what it is and it's going to be probably.
What's your guess?
No, I want to hear what it is first.
No, you have to guess because I think you're wrong anyway. So I want to hear what you say.
What I thought the number one would be?
Yeah,
I was going to say Crocodile Dundee.
No, it's definitely not Crocodile Dundee. Even though I could have put it in like the notable mentions or for the meme, but what's another one for?
I thought you were going to troll us with number one, so that's why I thought.
Kangaroo Jack.
No.
Would you count Moulin Rouge as an Australian movie? It filmed here. Then again, like sort of Star Wars.
Maybe.
I know. So the first, like they said.
Okay, so if I was wrong, then what is it? What is your number one?
It's the most messed up movie I've watched. It's called Snowtown.
I don't even think I've heard of that.
If you want to be like, wow, what the hell happened here? look up the Snowtown murders in Australia.
Oh, okay.
It's the worst case of serial killing in Australia, and they
You
made a
love
movie.
these like true crime things. They're like your favorite thing.
I like it, but when they depict it so realistically, it's not that great. And Snowtown does it. It's a messed up movie, but it's still one of my favorite Australian movies. I've only watched it like twice. That's because it's really messed up to watch.
Only 12 murders? Come on, that's rookie numbers in America.
When you find out what they did, it's messed up. They put them in like barrels of acid and then stored them in a bank vault.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, I'm probably gonna avoid. Maybe I'll read about it. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it.
Read it, and you can watch like a true crime thing where they don't.
I'm gonna tell you my number one or my top 2 Australian comedy TV shows.
Ooh, is one of them Chris Lilly?
No. Number 2 is Kath and Kim.
Oh
Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen
yeah.
that?
Kath
Okay.
and Kim.
Yeah. And number 1 is Please Like Me. That's my number 1 favorite Australian.
Oh, okay. With Josh Thomas.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
I haven't watched it, but I know people like it.
Yeah,
That people
good.
that's popular. I'm surprised. Have you watched any of the Chris Lilly shows?
No, but I'm gonna have to look it up because you mentioned it. So
Like Summer Heights High and stuff like that.
all right, that's Pageys pick for the week. Let us know in the comments if you have ever seen any of those movies or how you feel about those. Some of those I've seen before, but some of them had never even heard of. So let's answer a few of these super chats before we get to the shout outs, and then we'll move on to the final couple of topics. So Anthony Beltry with a $2 super chat and a Team Airrick member. Thoughts on Stargirl filming day 20? Do you mean are they on day 20 of filming? Is that what we're saying here? Have they? Stargirl's filming in Atlanta, correct? I mean, that's where it's moved. So I mean, I hadn't really seen anything big about the filming process for them, so I'm assuming they're doing fine. I'm excited.
Even if they're not a winter release show, so they can take their time. Like if they had to shut down for a month for something, they're still going to hit whatever their target date is because it's not until like May.
Hey Eric, fuck you.
What?
No, it's a thing from Summer Heights High. Someone put it in the chat.
Oh, okay, all right. Gamerman with a $2 super chat. Team Airrick member. Is Fan Force Stick really as bad as people say? Have both of you guys seen the 2015 Fantastic Four movie with Michael B. Jordan? That movie had a very interesting beginning. Like the first half of that movie, if it would have continued to be what it was in the beginning, it probably would have been an interesting take on the Fantastic Four. But literally halfway through the movie, the studio came in and did a bunch of stuff and changed the direction, the tone, the feel of the movie. They did a really bad time jump. And then the last 20 minutes is a really awful rushed superhero battle. So it's not bad from like just a bad movie from start to finish. It really was a movie where the studio came in and just like changed like way too much of the film. So I'm not saying it would have been good if it was shot like the original version. What about the hashtag release the Josh Trank cut of a Fan Force Stick or whatever?
How about hashtag release the OnlyFans? It's what people want. I think it was trending more than the train cut. So
okay. Gary here with one super chat. Happy holiday, guys. What holiday do you celebrate? I mean, we do Christmas here. And that's kind of what my family's always celebrated. I don't know. Thank you for asking. Happy holidays to you. And
Bebo Day, obviously.
Yeah. Boxing Day for you, both of you guys. We don't have that as a holiday here.
Boxing Day is like literally just a day after Christmas.
Yeah, but we like literally we don't even call it that. Like it's like not even a thing at all. It's weird. Gary with the super sticker, 99-cent super sticker. Thank you so much, Gary. Appreciate it. As always, supporting the show. All right, we're going to step away for a moment, and this is a shout out for all of the Team Airrick members. We'll come back and we will go over the final topics. We have some pretty interesting ones. If you don't see your name on the list here, I update it every week. So if you're not here, check back next week. See you in a moment. I just realized, I was in the wrong spot there. Was that a good melody there for you? Yeah, I know, Tom. I realized that the list with you on it, nobody had changed in that order, so I just used the same screenshot. And I looked at that. I'm like, wait a minute, that's the wrong name now. So I have to actually go in and change yours. Gary, are you guys married? Do you have kids? No. Nope. If I would probably, my living situation would be very different if I had a bunch of kids running around. That's for sure. I can tell you that. And I'm pretty sure Pagey, I mean, his child is his dog, right? I mean,
no, Ben. He's got Ben.
Oh, that's right.
I'll tell you what, I got Cal a new toy today. I regret it. It's squeaking so loud. I had to put it away. I had to put it in the cupboard. I couldn't take it. I'll give it back to you, but
oh man,
I might have to remove the squeaker thing or just like try and pop it with a needle or something because Jesus Christ, it was doing my head in.
What's Cal doing?
Oh, he's good. It was his birthday on Thursday.
Happy birthday, Cal. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, trust me, he knew about it. He got a cupcake for my mum, and then I got him like Doggy Rocky Road, which is Rocky Road without actual chocolate in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the next big topic, and this is one we've discussed this a couple times, and I feel like it keeps moving in a weird direction. We're going to talk about the HBO Max stuff, and dive into this a little bit. So just a quick update for everybody who's not caught up if you weren't here for the last time we talked about this. HBO Max has announced that a lot of the movies that were supposed to come out in 2020 that were pushed into 2021 will now share a release date with the release in theaters is a limited release and coming out same day on HBO Max and running for 1 month on that service, free of charge. It's included in your subscription, and that's kind of where all the drama spurs from this. The big thing is though, Wonder Woman 84 was the first announcement before all this news came out, and a lot of people were curious whether or not that was gonna. And I even said this. I felt like the Wonder Woman announcement was a precursor to like a bunch of stuff happening, and I was absolutely right. Apparently they changed their entire business model for at least a year out now or whatever. But the crazy thing is, can you guys believe this? Apparently studios like Legendary and all the directors and people involved with other properties found out less than 30 minutes before they made this announcement, and they weren't even given an opportunity to have a discussion about it. They literally just said, this is what we're doing, and then they announced it. Pretty messy, actually. And Christopher Nolan has actually been very vocal about this, and he's had a little heat as well. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I want to get reactions to your thoughts on the streaming service. What do you think it means to the industry? And do you honestly believe that it's a bad decision? Because that's what a lot of the studios are saying, or the partners with WB. Thoughts on that?
Yes. Pagey's going to sleep. I agree. I think it's a bad decision. I think it's a decision made out of desperation. They're looking at their overall profit margins right now, and they're like, we are losing billions of dollars, which they are. They're literally losing billions of dollars, and no company, no matter how successful they are, wants to lose billions. So they want some money coming back in. And they realize theaters aren't a full option for a while. So they're like, I guess we can get some money out of HBO Max, but they're losing. Like, I mean, they are literally sacrificing billions of dollars, knowing that money would come through the theater just to get the money now instead of 8 to 16 months from now, you know? Like, I understand as a producer, your money is just sitting there wasting away. I understand that. But you're going to get us this much, like, where am I? That much compared to what you would get if you just could sit on it for another 8 months to 12 months, you know?
Yeah.
I haven't read the Christopher Nolan comments, but I did see people. There was a pretty split response to his comments, so I don't know exactly what.
Well, it's not even really his comments. It's basically people saying that he is the reason why they're doing this because of what happened with Tenet, because he sort of laid the groundwork for how movies were going to be perceived during the pandemic. and how they were going to be received through like audiences during the pandemic. So a lot of people were saying that if he wouldn't have pushed to have his movie out in theaters so early, then maybe this wouldn't have happened. And I think that's probably incorrect, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But I want to hear your thoughts, Pagey. What do you think about this whole move and what the studios are saying? Do you think it was wrong for Warner Brothers to do this without consulting the production companies and the directors and anybody involved with it? Like, what is your take on that?
I think with Wonder Woman, it was fine just because it was so close and it had been delayed so many times. I think it was just to get it out there is fine, especially when a lot of international markets can fully go to the cinema. And even parts of America can as well. Just opening the HBO Max option for that is fine. I think it's when you open the other 12 months of that where it just comes down to them being selfish and them just trying to salvage HBO Max, which has been a failure. It's been a complete failure. They have over 20 million subscribers that have access to it. They haven't even bothered to tap it because it's not worth it. They would be getting constant emails saying, oh, by the way, your your HBO account gets free access to the streaming service. Like, okay, what's on there? Okay, sweet. I don't have to do anything. I don't really want to touch it.
Right.
Everything I want to watch is already on HBO. They're probably like, oh, I want to watch the Undoing, the new Nicole Kidman show, all these other shows, Lovecraft Country. I can just watch it on my HBO thing. I don't need HBO Max. What else is on there that I need to watch? Yeah. So it comes down to selfishness because let's be honest. They said, oh, it's because of the pandemic and we need to give people another option just because of it. I was like, then why is The Matrix over a year away on there? If that was the case, you would have stopped at about September.
Yeah.
Or even July and then adjusted like a month-by-month basis.
Yeah, it feels weird because we know right now that the majority of places where we're seeing these high numbers because of the pandemic, that they're saying already, and actually in the UK, today they started rolling out vaccinations already. So we know that the world is going to have access, at least in the larger hit areas, to some sort of vaccination, right?
Just to cut in 1 second with that, it's funny you literally bring that up. Our local news just reported next week 4,000 high-risk people in the province will be the first to get immunized in Canada.
Yeah, we have 72,000 doses being put out in the state, and they're all going to medical professionals and senior living facilities.
That makes the most sense.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is that, Pagey, what you're saying there about them projecting so far out, you're absolutely right, because they could start looking at a 6-month plan instead of a 8, 10, 12-month plan. It just doesn't seem like the smartest thing. And I think the CEO actually said that it was going to be like this thing where it could change depending on where the business goes and this, that, and the other.
Let's be honest, it has the option to change in case it fails in the first couple of months.
Right.
Because let's be honest, they're at 12. Everyone's going, oh my God, they went at 4. But it's like, yeah, well, Wonder Woman comes out in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off again.
So, they just could, and that could be the fact that people could subscribe on the 25th or the 24th for Wonder Woman. But even the fact they just have 12 million now and it's been out for 8 months, 7 months or something like that. So it hasn't been that successful of a thing, regardless of how much they pushed it, and also the people that have access to it. And they keep saying it's because it's for the fans. And I hate when there's people say it's for the fans when it's clearly not. I'm sorry, if you think it's for the fans, remove the crayon, holy crap, from the brain.
Not only that, but they are going to get, so it's not for the fans. Absolutely not. This is coming from the top end.
Or the investors who are like, what's going on?
Absolutely. But I think what we have to remember is regardless, and this is the same thing we talked about with the Snyder Cut. A lot of people believed the Snyder Cut is for the fans. Guys, it is not.
I think even Snyder sort of insinuated it's because they needed content. I think when Toby Emmerich or something called him, he insinuated that it was because they needed stuff. It wasn't because they wanted it. It's because they needed it.
Right.
It wasn't a want, it was a need. It was like, well, crap, we have nothing coming out, nothing high profile. I've always said it. It's similar to the Disney Plus thing, but they did have Mandalorian, but they didn't have a big Marvel show. The fact that HBO Max launched without any big franchise property was insane to me, considering the price.
Yeah.
It was
$15. Considering it's Warner Brothers. Like, they have access to so many things.
It didn't come out with a DC thing. It didn't come out with a Lego thing, which they had the rights to at the time, I'm pretty sure, or at least when they were creating content, so they could have still legally released it.
Yeah.
No Harry Potter thing, which I know it's hard to do, but still, it's a big property they have, and all these other different things. Like even like something in the Godzilla realm, if they wanted to do something along those lines, even if it was animated or CGI or whatever. call it? They had all this stuff and they didn't prepare. It was a rushed service with no clear plan, and it was AT&T that just wanted to get into the streaming realm, and they went, okay, well, which company can we buy? Warner Brothers is up, let's go. And that's where they went, but they had no plan. They just wanted to rush into it because they couldn't wait another year. Yeah, and it's rushing. That's why they did the Snyder Cut.
Well, even Disney Plus was rushed. The only difference is Disney at least had like something that people wanted. Like
Disney has the big back catalog, which they're not charging $10. It's what, $6 a month, $7 a month.
Yeah, yeah.
And families are going to subscribe to that, especially mums, because they can chuck on the Lion King 20 times a day to
or the Muppets or the any of those.
Yeah, even an adult, you can go back and watch the friggin' Simpsons or any of the movies there,
or any of the X-Men cartoons if you really love Marvel.
All the Marvel stuff that's there, like X-Men animated, Spider-Man, or even the live action stuff. AT&T, and I've said this a couple of times, it's always worried me when they took it in charge of Warner Media, not just because of the movie side, but even just like things like DC and stuff like that in regards to the comics. We've already seen the issues we're having with the comics because of them. They're cutting everything down and things just aren't lasting that long. It really reminds me of when Disney took over Marvel with the comic side, how things just got canceled really, really quickly. There was no real longevity with something. If something wasn't really working at the beginning, it got cut.
If it's not a tentpole thing, they don't care about it. And that's pretty much what it is.
And it wouldn't surprise me too much if this doesn't work over the next 18 months or something like that, what AT&T just looks to sell. It wouldn't surprise me too much. They just wanted a streaming service. And this was Warner, I think probably Warner Brothers or Warner Media was the only really one that was there to take. And I think they paid overs for it as well. So they're just desperate for it. So I hate when it just annoys me when I see, Jason Keeler go, it's for the fans. I'm like, seriously, like, is anyone believing that?
I will say this though. This is what I think AT&T and WB, or at least the executives, are hoping, is that will be the message. They want that to be the message going out to everybody, because they feel like if all these people behind the production studios and partners and directors and actors, it's going to be hard for them to look like the good guys, because a lot of people don't want to go to theaters. So they're like, we're doing this and the fans are going to love it. We're going to take the L for like what happened with the directors and stuff, but the fans are going to love it. They're going to sign up for our service. And we have that, basically that force field of the fans between us and these properties. And that's exactly what's happening.
Because, you know what the difference for me is? You go to the theaters because you pay a premium, because you got to pay for each single person. So the product is a much more premium service. It's like when you subscribe to a streaming service where you pay money, it's better than network TV where everything's free.
Right.
Sure, you might have to watch ads, but it's free. So there's a different level. So what's going to happen in the year, if might start next year when they start producing and making new movies, anything Warner Brothers is going to have a lower production value because they're not going to be bringing in the same revenue. And so you're going to see the effects. Sure, Disney might still be able to release stuff that looks good because it might be aimed for the cinema. And while Warner might be going, well, it's heading to the cinema as well, they're expecting the mass revenue stream in regards to domestic to come through HBOMax. So they're going to adjust their production budgets for a streaming thing. Yeah. And you might go, oh, well, hold on, the Green Lantern show is meant to be getting this big budget. I'm like, yeah, but that's for multiple episodes for 8, 10, 12 hours of content.
Yeah.
With this, you're getting an hour and a half to 2.5 hours max with something, and they're going to adjust their production budgets. Go watch a Netflix movie. They're not good in regards to the production budget. Yeah. It might be a good story and stuff, but you can tell the difference between a Netflix streaming movie, and they have big budgets for their movies, but you can still see the difference between their production budgets and something that goes in theaters, even when it just comes down to the equipment that they would use.
Yeah. Yeah, and talking about here, so one of the big things that we're dealing with is that the reality of it, and some of the people in the chat are saying this, and so I want to address this as well. I think we have passed the point where the theaters can expect these films to keep them afloat. I think we've blown past that point now. I think the theaters are going to need extra help outside of movies coming out in theaters, because they not only have to make money to stay afloat now, they have to make money for all the money they've lost over the last like 8 to 9 months. And that's the bigger picture, guys. Like, I understand that saying, oh, they should have just put these out in theaters and not put them out on streaming. I don't know if that would have helped either. I don't know if that would have saved theaters. I am fully aware that theaters are in dire straits. I've said this on Twitter. I've been a huge champion of like getting money out to the arts, to Broadway, to theater, to all of these different places. I don't think these movies being released without limited showings would have helped. There's a bigger problem there. So if you look at it from that perspective, it makes this even worse because AT&T at the top end realizes that, hey, we're not even giving them, I think they said they were going to give the theaters a bigger cut, right? But they know.
They said that adjusts for everything else, but
right.
The insiders were saying it looks like they're not going to, when it comes to like stuff that by the time like Godzilla vs King Kong or something comes out, it'll be the same cut that would have been there normally.
But they know that they're giving the theaters crumbs, even because even though they're giving them more in terms of their deal with Wonder Woman, the theaters are not going to make enough money off of these limited releases, even if they weren't coming out on HBO Max. That's the thing. That's what you have to understand here.
It's not even that. It's sort of like an FU to theaters to say, okay, we'll give you the movie, but we're going to release on HBO Max at the same time, because the theaters have to run as if they're up and running normal. So running costs and everything like that. So they're technically spending more money to get less people in. Because they're expecting people to, because it's a new product. They may as well stay shut.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, honest, they may as well.
Canadagraphs, what is the theater situation with you? Because I know you guys are dealing with another resurgence down there. Do you
shut down right now? And there was one of the smaller independent theaters in Vancouver that's well known in Vancouver, the Rio. They actually sent a letter to the government about a week and a half ago, requesting that theaters be exempt from the part of the shutdown that they fall into, because they've categorized theaters into events, along with like weddings and funerals and things like that. And they're like, we're not an event, because at a theater, you're not sitting there socializing with people before and after the thing. There's a vast difference. They're trying to get them cut out of that, because right now all the theaters are shut down.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman's 2 weeks out, and we don't have HBO Max in Canada. So they know this is a single chance for them to get some of their money back this year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. By the way, two things I want to address before we move on. Laura, I can't pull this for some reason. It's not letting me put this up on StreamYard. It says she says drive-in theaters were replaced by big indoor theaters, and indoor theaters being replaced by streaming. Yeah, I mean, this is what happened here. I think what we're seeing, and this is what makes it so crazy, is I do believe to a degree that the amount of streaming platforms we're getting, the amount of stuff we're getting content-wise, was inevitable. I think streaming was going to be the future of a lot of stuff, but I think it happened in a way that.
But there's a difference.
Yeah,
there's a big difference. There's a difference between it being inevitable and then forcing it and ramming down.
Exactly. No, I agree with that.
Oh, animals on the brink of extinction. Oh, they'll be gone in 30 years. Okay, let's just go wipe them out now. Let's shoot them in the head. So they're all gone now.
No, you're absolutely right.
They're going to be around for 30 to 40 years. No, we'll just go around and kill them now.
Yeah.
Just get it over done with.
I agree. I think it's going to be, so guys, keep a bookmark on this story, because I think we'll probably end up talking about this even more, because I do believe, like they were saying that Nolan, he shouldn't say anything because he's entitled and this, that, and the other. And although I think Nolan he does have an ego. He is one of these people who's like I don't mean this with any disrespect. He's like a movie snob, but he's been doing it for a long time, and this is what he does. It's his livelihood. So for him, he's speaking from a place of passion. He wants to make art, and he wants it to come out a certain way.
It's also important to remember, I saw people roasting him. I was like, he was right, though, because he was saying that all these people went to bed one night thinking they were making movies for the greatest thing, and then the greatest production studio and everything, then they're making it, wake up and they're making it for the worst streaming service. Obviously, it's objective. Subjective whether you think HBOMax is the worst. It clearly isn't. It's maybe the biggest ripoff, potentially. Yeah. But as to what's on there, it's obviously not the worst. But what he was saying is that they went to bed thinking they were making all this different type of content and all their deals and stuff were in place. What about existing like first look deals for movies and stuff like that? Like Nolan's been making these movies there for ages. He's not going to be like dying to make the next Interstellar if he's got it in his head or something like that, or Inception.
Yeah.
If it's just going to go to streaming, people are going to be watching on their iPhones on the toilet. You know what I mean? He's not going to be dying to do that. He wants to be seeing IMAX in the theater, and that's where you have to see it. And I see people saying, "Oh, well, he's to blame for Tenet because he pushed it." And it's like, well, it was pretty much like the, what do you want to call it? The trial run, the canary in the gold mine.
Yeah.
On the gold mine, what do you call it? Like something had to do with it. There had to be this big blockbuster, and it didn't necessarily want like epically fail. but it just didn't do well. I think they estimated it made about 55% of what it probably would have in the worldwide. I don't know what it made domestically, but I think roughly made about 55, going on 60% of what it probably would have made if things were normal. So you can't really roast him that much. He did push it, so you can argue, well, it didn't really work then. He's just trying to give it a go.
Yeah, and I will say this. I think he catches a lot of heat because of what happened with Tenet, but let's be fair here. I think we all knew it wasn't going to do well, but I think he was ready to take that chance, and the dice roll wasn't in his favor. But it could have happened with any film. Like, I don't care if it was Tenet. I don't care if it was, I don't even think a Marvel movie. Yeah, Wonder Woman. I don't think any movie would have done as expected when that movie was released.
Well, because it made like 40 million or something worldwide.
Yeah. So
45 million or something like that.
Yeah. So I'm going to say this again, keep a bookmark on the story. We're probably going to talk about it a couple more times before this is all said and done. I do know that there's a lot of directors and actors who feel like Gal Gadot was treated with a different level of Patty Jenkins. They were treated with a different.
Another thing that's coming out of this is like Gal Gadot's getting a some type of renegotiation on her deal, and all the other actors are like, what about
everyone? It's not even her. It's
like it's not even like C-list actors either. Like some A-list needs to be like, what?
It's just everyone associated with the movie. So it's Gal Gadot, Patty Jenkins, Chuck Roven, like producers that were heavily involved with it. So who's the other? I can't remember. I think it's like Peter something. Mm-hmm. So they're all getting their back end deals that they normally would get, and they estimated that the movie would have made $1 billion. Yeah. So they're getting, I think it's 10 million each. Yeah. Well, at least 10 million Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins. But then it's just like, well, what about like, does anyone have it for Mortal Kombat? Does anyone have it for Godzilla? Are they getting the same thing? So what about like Margot Robbie? I think is saying it for the Suicide Squad.
Warner Brothers can't stay out of controversy. I mean, I feel like ever since like earlier this summer, it's just one story after another with them. I don't know if they're cursed or what. I have no idea. Anyway, we'll get back to the story probably next week when we get more information on it. Let's go through some of these super chats that have been sitting here for a bit. We have one from Anthony Beltry. It's a $2 super chat, and he's also, again, a Team Airrick member. Will Naomi and Wonder Girl be connected to the Flash? So that's a great question. I think Wonder Girl has the higher probability of being connected to the Arrowverse shows. I think Naomi may be one of these shows that is in the multiverse, but is not directly connected to the other shows. Thoughts on this, guys? What do you think?
I'm pretty sure Naomi's gonna, well, if it's anything from the comic, it starts elsewhere and then she connects to another Earth. Whether it is our Earth Prime in the Arrowverse is another question.
Yeah.
I have to wait and see, I guess. Like the whole thing is that her Earth is like a bit, how you going?
I feel like though that with her story, the way it is in the comics, it would limit the amount of characters she would interact with. So if she didn't cross over to another Earth, there wouldn't be that many superpowered people.
It depends which story they go. Do they make it that she crosses over when she's like the age she's going to be on the show, or does she go over when she's younger and she grows up and realizes where she comes from? So she could be growing up on Earth Prime, sees the Flash, sees Supergirl, sees Batwoman, sees Superman, but then knows she comes from a different Earth, and that's when she goes back to that other Earth.
Yeah, I'm excited though. I think this is gonna. If you guys are watching what's happening with the CW and the stuff they're doing now, we said this like 2 weeks ago. They're heading in a direction, so they're going to be telling very different and dynamic stories. So it won't feel like a retread of stuff that we've seen in movies already. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
The only issue with Naomi is that because she's actually new, she still actually doesn't have a clear set of powers. Like Brian Michael Bendis, who's writing her, actually hasn't even set out what her powers are.
Oh,
like
wow.
She has abilities, stuff like that, but you don't go, okay, she's a speedster. Oh, okay, she's this and that. It's like it's very varied and hasn't been like slimmed down and nailed on.
Oh, Gamer Man here with a $2 super chat and a Team Airrick member. What are your thoughts on the 2000s Fantastic Four? So that was the two movies. The ones where Chris Evans was Human Torch and Jessica Alba. Yeah. I didn't really care for the first one. The second one was saved for me by Silver Surfer. I really love that character. So I thought that was kind of a fun character to have in movies. It doesn't age well, special effects wise. If you go back and you watch it, it's not great with the special effects, but I will say that I loved Silver Surfer. So I really enjoyed the second film much more than the first film. And I would love to see that character come back, but I don't think they were horrible, but they were definitely like, if you look back at the first, like the Spider-Man trilogy, and you look at these in the Fantastic Four films, they could have fit in that same world. I don't think these characters would have worked trying to pair them up with anything that's going on today. Very, very like 2000s superhero stuff. What about you guys? Any thoughts on those movies?
I had to look it up on IMDb when I saw the question in the chat a while ago, so I had a chance to look it up. I had to look on IMDb to see what I thought of it back then. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Oh,
so I wasn't very memorable, and I didn't even see Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I wasn't offended by it. I basically would say the same thing. It's not good. It's not bad. I'm sort of.
All I do remember about it is I did make a lot of money off it because it filmed here.
Oh, okay. What about you, Pagey? Did you watch those movies at all, or?
I watched them. I can't really. I don't think
exactly.
I've watched them.
They're not memorable. The only thing I remember really was
like I said. I had to look on IMDb to see if I'd seen it and what I rated it.
Lucas here. This is interesting. I think it's funny too that HBO Max removed their 7-day free trial right before Wonder Woman 84, so they force you to subscribe because they need the money that bad. Yeah, they don't want people signing up to watch the movie and then canceling before the free trial is over. Oh. Gary here says, I feel like Canadagraphs is mad at me. Are you? Well, I'm not mad at you. I don't know if Canadagraphs is. I'm not. So
I answered him in the chat.
Oh, okay, good. Taken care of. Let's see here. We had a couple more super chats here before we move into the Flash, which is going to be a fairly not a long topic. We only have very little to talk about with that.
A long topic until Gary's 32 questions on it.
Silhouetted Animator with the channel super chat. From what I heard from a friend in the industry, directors are contracted to get their money from their films being in theaters. That contract is now broken, meaning less money from them. I'm sure there's a lot of contractual red tape that's being just completely ripped off right now. This is the thing, and I know we moved on from that topic, but this was probably asked during that topic, and I just did not see it pop up. But I feel like that's where the legal stuff is going to happen, and that's why we kind of have to keep our eye on this to see where it goes, because HBO Max, Warner Brothers, AT&T, they may end up having to completely redo this entire concept of releasing movies this way because of industry stuff. Like, this is why it's happening so quickly, because they want to get this taken care of before their movies roll out to HBO Max, because it will directly affect them. So it'll be interesting. Any quick thoughts on that? Do you guys feel like this is going to be a contractual thing? Do you think that's what's going to come down to? Or
I think that's definitely going to have a very strong indicator on whether this HBO Max plan sticks around for the whole year. I could see it ending up in court before the end of 2020 to get ahead of it, and we could see this be a court battle for a couple of months.
Yeah, and
in the end, HBO take the L and just finally be like, I guess we have to release these in the theaters and just eat the losses for a while,
right?
Because how would they ever decide who gets their split of an HBO Max subscription?
It's the equivalent of because musicians make most of their money from live shows because they don't make a lot of money off of streaming and album sales anymore. So it would be the equivalent of releasing a live concert, but then streaming that concert on the same day, and they would never see any of that money. It's basically the equivalent of that. So Laura here with a question, and I want to pop this up because I didn't see anything about this, so I wanted to see if you guys had heard anything. I read that Wonder Girl was going to be set in the future. Is that true?
I think she might be talking about DC Future State, where the Wonder Woman's in the future.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm sure that's what it's about, because I don't think there's been anything about the show since it was announced.
Okay,
and that wasn't.
Tom here with the $2 super chat. Do you think AMC will fight back against WB? The movie theaters don't have unless there's some, again, contractual thing that they're doing that's being broken, they don't have a lot of leverage to fight back. I mean, they could say, oh, we're not going to show any Warner Brother movies. But I mean, to be honest, they can't.
In the foot.
Yeah, they can't do that with every studio. So, because I think they already said they had an issue with other, what was it, Universal or some other studio that said they were.
They have to deal with Universal where they get a cut of the money from PVOD.
Yeah. So, I mean, they could probably do something contractually, but I don't know how much a fight. Theaters are literally on their last toe on the ledge of a building right now. I mean, they don't have much left. I will be very surprised without any help financially if we have anything like what we have, had before come summer of 2021. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. Any more super chats? I think we got them all right now. So let's talk about this one last topic. And this is going to be a very quick one. and I kind of want to go over the titles of the episodes as well. But the first thing I want to talk about is The Flash seems to be filming again. I don't know if Canadagraphs has any news on that or not, but
this article, I haven't seen this.
So, well, this is the first 5 episode titles. It's not not about filming. We're going to talk about this, but I want to talk about the fact that Candace posted a couple of Instagram stories today that looked like she was on set. So I'm assuming they're either in the process of like getting ready to film again, or maybe they're doing some interior stuff. But I would say from the looks of it, they're probably very close, if not already, back on set. And any thoughts on this, guys?
Okay. Well, first of all, Candace has me blocked on every social media platform.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I didn't know that, but just on the weekend, like on Sunday night, I called because like when you have a production, you have individual parts of the production that have their own offices because they need them, right? Mm-hmm. So I phoned a couple of those just to see what was going on, hoping to get the answering machine because that's how they do things. And their last update had been on November 30th. So my thought process on that was they didn't work at all last week. And since there was still no update, and this was like late on a Sunday, I was under the impression they weren't going to work Monday. So I actually thought they might be taking a whole 2 weeks off, like, worst case scenario thing. That was the thought process I was starting to have. But if you say that Candace has posted some recent video, maybe it was just 1 week. Maybe they've got the okay. Maybe that's what it was. They were waiting for the okay, and it just took longer than I thought it would. Because I thought this would be a thing. We were either going to see it be 1 to 3 days, or it was going to be 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was thinking. My personal thoughts were I expected at the very least a week, maybe 4 to 5 days. Just because of it wasn't someone that we knew that was on the to be fair, we didn't know who it was, but they didn't say it was someone in the main cast. So I thought maybe we could actually, see it pick up very shortly or whatever. So I do believe that we're probably back in swing. So the reason why I'm saying that is I don't think we're going to see a delay in the schedule of The Flash if it was only a week, right? So people
I heard it might get delayed in February.
Yeah, people are saying that a Batwoman promo just dropped. I'm scrolling through Twitter. I'm not seeing anything. And I'm following every single Batwoman hashtag and account. So it's not even on my YouTube. So I don't know what's going on with that. They're like, oh, it just dropped. I don't see it.
There is actually.
How is it not? Why is it not getting retweeted? Why am I not seeing likes? Why is that a thing?
It's a 50-second promo. I'll send you the link through DM. Give me a second here. I haven't looked at it yet, so I don't know what it is.
My biggest fear is that it's going to have music in it that's going to get me hit with a...
Good point. Well, I'll watch it first. I'll mute myself for a minute, and then I'll let you know.
Okay, go for it. Okay, so while he's doing that, because I'll probably do like a full-fledged like video thing for the trailer, but I will give it a shot here. So let's talk a bit about the titles here briefly. So the first 5 titles were released. I was going to do a separate video on this, but I just want to acknowledge them because everybody was asking me my thoughts on them. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to do this. So 7-1 is going to be All's Well That Ends Well. Now, we missed at the season last season, correct, Pagey? All's Well That Ends Well.
Yeah. All's Well That Ends Well. Yeah, that was meant to be episode 20.
Right. And then we have The Speed of Thought, which I don't think that was not a title that we had heard before, correct? Speed of Thought?
No, none of them. No. The only one we knew was All's Well That Ends Well.
Okay. Mother, which not sure what that means, but I'm assuming it's in connection to the main storyline that we're like. I think that's going to be the wrap up for the stuff that we saw at the end of the season, right? With the Mirror Mistress storyline, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's going to be the wrap up. So the first 3 episodes are probably going to be devoted to wrapping up the end of last season. And that seems about right to me. Central City. Yeah, go ahead.
Quickly on the Batwoman stuff, it's usually 6 seconds.
It's what?
6 seconds.
That's it?
Yeah, it's 6 seconds. So if you get caught, I'd be shocked.
Okay. Central City Strong, which is probably going to be about the citizen. which if that gives you any indication that Iris will probably get out between episodes 1 and 3. And then Fear Me is probably going to be the introduction to the next villain of the season, if I had to guess. Any thoughts on that, Pagey? Does that sound about right? Or
what'd you say for episode 4?
That's probably going to be about Central City Strong. I feel like that's going to have to do with the Central City Citizen stuff, right? Or
yeah, I'd say episode 3 is the actual finale of what was meant to be, and episode 4 is like, I guess maybe some repercussion of episode 3, if there is any. Or I'm not. Yeah. I'm very intrigued to see how they planned it out, because I'm assuming they probably would have planned for there to be a time jump after the season ends normally. So I'm interested if they rework it where episode 4 just happens like a week after episode 3 rather than 3 months or whatever it would be.
Oh, okay. Wow. It's like this promo is less than 6. It's like 6 seconds long.
Oh, you got the info already. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you sent it over to me. I don't I get it. I'm super hyped for the show too, but there's really nothing.
Yeah, everyone says Sophia's in it. I don't know. Sophia. I can't see her at all. I don't know. Because the first 6 seconds is the only new thing. Yeah. Shows the Batmobile, shows, I don't know if that's meant to be Scarecrow and like an imposter.
Yeah.
Her in the old suit, her in the new suit, and her bashing on some dude's head.
Yeah. Look, I'll show it quickly. Just this little part here, and then I'll probably, I'm going to do a Batwoman video this week. What was he going to say?
I think Tom might be dumb.
Why?
They do have like a very short clip of her in her new suit right before the end of the promo.
Yeah,
that's about the only new thing I would say about it. Because
Batman actually driving.
Everyone else. Oh yeah, I guess there was at the start. There was the car for a second too. Yeah.
Like everything in that first 6 seconds is a new promo. Yeah, and then it jumps. I think TV promos they usually do that though, but I'm sure they'll just
the old clips. Yeah,
just to make it look longer.
Oh, that's what it is. So it's a combination of all the individual clips,
all the old clips, all the old promos from the past like month or so. And then the first 6 seconds is the new one from today, which must have played during Swamp Thing at some point. I had Swamp Thing on, but I was only flicking through looking at every 5 minutes to see if it was an ad break, and I wasn't getting it sometimes. I wasn't.
Let's see. I didn't share the audio because I forgot to hit the button, but this is basically the first. Here we go. You guys.
And that's it.
Yeah, there's her with the suit there.
Everything after that's old footage.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm excited for the show. I think a lot of people are going to be really surprised at how good the show is going to be. I have a feeling that it's going to blow a lot of people away. Because I think, people that were saying that the biggest problem with the show was Ruby Rose, and now they're still complaining about Batwoman. Now it's like, give it a shot. Like you said, you didn't like Ruby. Like, give Javicia a chance. She's really enjoying all the social media elements, being on Instagram and stuff like that. She's very, very, very active on Instagram.
Well, I think it was before because she just didn't have anything there, but now she's Batwoman. So, because she was obviously acting before, but it was nothing that anyone would have.
Yeah, this is huge. I feel like she's excited about being Batwoman, and I did not get that impression from Ruby Rose at all.
No, definitely not. I think
Ruby Rose started first, and then she started having to do TV because she never did TV.
Yeah,
and, I know Orange is the New Black, but that's the Netflix show. It's a bit different. She was not the main star. She was just every now and then, so it's a bit different. So I'm assuming a bunch of work she didn't enjoy it.
What do you think of this quote here from Silhouetted Animator? We're going to need more diapers. The Flash, season 7, episode 3. Mother. Oh, please don't put that.
I thought Mother would be in reference to Mirror Mistress.
Yeah, absolutely. Double crit, $2 super chat, and a Team Airrick member. Wow, amazing Batwoman promo. Yeah, I mean, Batwoman's getting a lot of promo stuff. I'm surprised we're not seeing promos from the other shows.
Well, you gotta remember, they're 3 to 4 weeks ahead of all the other shows in airing. So
yeah, I feel like they can still put together a 5-second clip. I mean,
I think those are due soon though, because we've been getting Batwoman now for 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think we're due soon. Who's first out of the gate after the break? Black Lightning.
What do you mean
in January? What's the first one out in January?
Yes, Batwoman, then Black Lightning, then Flash and Superman and Lois.
Okay, so I think we'll see a Black Lightning one, maybe even this week.
Yeah.
And then I think next week, just before everyone goes on their Christmas break, they might have the Flash and Superman.
Yeah. So I think I want to make a couple of announcements quickly about the after party because I want to put it at the end here. So for the rest of December, this will be the time slot we're going to be in. It'll be at the same time on Tuesdays all the way until the end of December. The very first week in January, we will switch to the new time, which is going to be on Wednesdays. And I have not picked what time that's going to be yet. I haven't decided what it's going to be, but it will be on Wednesday. So we'll be moving to the day after. The reason why is because that way I'll be able to get both of my reviews for the Flash and Superman and Lois up and out to you guys before the after party goes live. So you can watch those. And then when you come into the after party, we can discuss the stuff that I talked about in my videos as well as your questions. Plus Pagey will have his reviews out by then, right? Like you should have both of your reviews up before
the Twerk edition live on the membership panel.
Right. So we'll be switching over to that hopefully in the first week in January in preparation for all the shows coming back. Because ultimately we're going to have at least 3 to 4 shows to talk about during the after party. And you guys are going to have tons of questions. And so I feel like doing it on Wednesday will make more sense. Because we talked about this before. If we do it on Tuesdays, it would not only be really late in the day for Pagey, it would be like 3 o'clock in the morning for me. So that just doesn't work. So we'll have to wait when we get there. Staggover with the 4.9 in Super Chat. I think we should give the CW credit for not marketing Batwoman season 2 the same way as season 1. I mean, could it have been any worse? I mean, season 1 marketing was awful. I feel like Batwoman season 2 is your run-of-the-mill like CW Arrowverse show marketing, but you're right. They should have done that with Batwoman season 1. But I think,
but it's important to remember that, like, due to the pandemic, that they actually literally can't, because we know most, like, outside of that trailer, which had just one line, which was bad.
Mm-hmm.
The marketing was just the LA WBTV department. Like that wasn't the CW. I'm pretty sure that was WBTV that did that.
Yeah,
they did that marketing. They just hired a random LA.
Yeah, Bonnie, the marketing hasn't really started for.
I don't know. They got a minute worth of promos up.
And Javicia is advertising the show like several times a day on Instagram.
Oh, wait, that was Giovanni. Okay, I understand why I wrote that.
Yeah. That's why I put it up. I thought it was like he's trolling, obviously. Tom here. Thoughts on Hawkeye set photos with Kate Bishop? It looks okay. It's really hard for me to get excited about the Disney Plus shows because they have just not. I've been waiting for them for over a year now, and I haven't seen anything really. We got the teaser for WandaVision. Like, I'd love to see more, but, you know, it is what it is.
2 entire seasons almost of The Mandalorian come out. You still haven't gotten shows that were promised before that.
And the What If is an animated thing. They could have released the What If series. Those are all animated. I'm ready for something. Amethyst Comic Court. Look, it scrolled up on me when I clicked there. Amethyst here. I saw a preview with Red Alice still in it, though. Why are they not writing her out? I think they're just going to try and tell more of Alice's story with the new Batwoman. And I actually think it may end up being better than it was.
She was also a thing in Gotham before Kate was Batwoman.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not like she's she's not there because of Kate. She was already there. So
look who has stopped in here. Why does it keep doing that to me? Boba Talks is in the house. What is up, Boba? Is that the real Boba Talks?
I was going to say, I think it could be War Stew in disguise, but I'm going to safely assume it's the correct, but the real.
Boba's gonna. You might be able to actually join us for our discussions of Batwoman because they're going to be a different time of day. So hopefully, because the hours we do this in are not good for you normally. So,
what was it now? Midnight.
I don't. Yeah, what time is it in the UK right now?
Midnight or 2 a.m. Midnight or 2 a.m.
Yeah,
2 in the morning there.
Yeah, 13 episodes. Silhouette animator with a $10 super chat. 13 episodes of Black Lightning left. So many loose ends. Brandon's dad, the Shadow Board, the nature of resurrection, and how it connects to Effective Jefferson, the metahuman connection to Markovia. My biggest concern about Black Lightning is the metahuman stuff because they set up a huge mystery around the metahuman situation on Black Lightning that hasn't been fully realized yet. So I don't know. Or do you think they're going to be able to answer all these questions, or do you think some of it will go into the Painkiller spinoff? What are you thinking about that? Because
I don't think they'll shift too much to Painkiller outside of Painkiller, especially because we thought maybe Jennifer would be a character that would go over to Painkiller, but obviously China went, hey, no. So I don't think that's going to be a thing anymore. So I'm intrigued to see how they wrap up this season. It makes me wonder, like, if Gravedigger's not even a thing in this season, or he's like a really minor part. I think he's meant to be in this season. Well, obviously at the end of last season, you'd say he is, but I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how they wrap it up. You think they have to just focus on the family first and foremost? But it should be interesting.
Yeah. So Boba, here's the thing. I hope you're still here, and I want to extend this out to you because everyone's asking about it. You should join us for an after party at some point this next season, because everybody would love to hear your opinion on stuff, especially with Batwoman coming back. I don't know if you're excited about it. I know it falls in line with the stuff that you typically love. So if you are interested, I'm letting you know right now, the invitation is extended. Let us know if we can have you on the show. We'd love to have you join us at least 1 week, maybe more, during this upcoming season.
I am surprised you're offering Ads of Boba to come on and be the main the professional opinion on Batwoman, when really I thought you'd be bringing him in for Supergirl.
Oh,
I thought that would be his area of expertise, if you want to call it, or maybe Legends. Supergirl Legends. I'd be bringing in maybe someone like Heels versus Babyface for Batwoman.
No.
Maybe, the Quartering. Maybe what's the guy that looks like he hasn't eaten for like 3 years?
You were literally
looks like it looks like he's on meth as well. I can't remember what his name.
I'm not. So here's the thing: if I answer that question with the right answer, it's going to make me look like a complete asshole. So I'm not going to answer that question. But I know.
But it's something.
Okay. For sure, Pagey will end up saying it.
No, we need to get Boba in here. I would love to have Boba in here with us to chat about this. That would be awesome.
There's a guy that looks like Warstu on steroids with a wig on.
I'm looking forward to seeing Javicia's take. Let's put it that way. I feel the same way. So
that's his name, Forest Unlimited. I think that's who that's what I was referring to. Anyway,
yeah. What? No. So. Boba says criticizing something isn't hating. I agree, but people love to throw that out there. So it is time to wrap it up. Do we have dad jokes ready for the end of the stream? Do we have dad jokes ready? Are we good to go?
I have more of a diss track, but I'll leave that for next week. Oh, okay. By the way, I do have an announcement. I will not be on the after party, not next week, the week after. So it's going to be a Pageys free after party. So that stream will be monetized, which is a good sign for Eric. Especially in the Christmas period, because ads are usually up. So
wait, hold on. I want to make sure. Let me look at the dates here. So
I think it's the 22nd.
But you will be here on the. Okay, so on the
one
15th,
just Christmas. Right. I just want to be here on that couple days.
So on the 15th, I will be doing my Santa cosplay then. So next week.
Oh God.
Will be the Santa cosplay.
Okay, well, we can confirm then. We can confirm on the 15th in America, the 16th in Australia, and guess wherever you are in the world, Eric will be wearing the Santa outfit, and we can, along with that, confirm on the membership site and the OnlyFans, the twerking Santa video will be uploaded, twerking to Thong Song. I'm not going to say it, but there could be a potential striptease. I'm just saying it's coming out there. Daddy Eric Santa striptease twerking. If you want it, you got to demand it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. That will not be happening, but thank you for...
Okay, if we can get...
How about Santa chalk?
We could get a Santa talk. A Santa
if you
talk.
Want working Santa, put Daddy Eric in the chat. That's all that needs to be put there. Daddy Eric Christmas. That's another way to put it. But I'm looking forward to it, to be completely honest.
Yeah. Silhouetted animator with the $2 super chat. Hope they don't waste Tommy Elliott. I feel like that might be a problem with that character, since that character was really, really closely tied to Kate Kane. So we'll have to see what they do with.
I'll tell you what, though, Santa Claus is definitely coming to town.
Look at all this. It is gonna be a horrible after party. Like, don't tune in for the 15th. Like, don't.
Definitely tune in and have your screen recorders going at the same time.
No. This is gonna be bad. It's gonna be so bad.
And I remind Eric on the day before to
look. Even Boba's getting in on this. That's not cool.
Who wouldn't? You have to be a mental case to not want Daddy Eric. And we will get the fairy bread as well. So be twerking Daddy Eric Santa eating fairy bread.
This does not sound appealing at all.
It sounds delicious.
This sounds like a worse idea than WB's movie rollout plan.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
All right, so we're getting into dad jokes, and I hate even saying that because of what just dreamed at. No. Look at this. Look. No.
Dream Daddy Eric.
Look.
I think after Pagey leaves the week after next, you should just forget to invite him again.
Welcome to the look, Giovanni. Welcome to the twerking party.
Well, hold on, Eric. There's another option. There's one more option. If you don't want to do Daddy Eric Santa twerk, you can do Daddy Eric Santa WAP. It's one of the two.
No, we're not doing that either. That's not happening.
What would you rather do, twerk or WAP?
If you want to watch someone do that, go watch the Jack Black video. It's out there on the internet for you to check out. Go watch that one.
Well, what if we did some sort of Photoshop and put your head on his?
If somebody can make that video happen, I would retweet it. If somebody makes a Jack Black WAP video with somehow having my face on it and making it work, I will retweet it. That would be hilarious.
I don't think you should challenge the internet like that.
I'm saying I don't think it can happen, but if somebody could do it, then okay, so dad jokes. You go first, Canadagraphs. Come on, let's do them.
All right. Again, this is thanks to Google, so you can blame them for the quality of these materials. How do you make holy water?
I don't know.
You boil the hell out of it.
Oh, jeez. Dad joke, bad joke, or sad joke? Chat. Tell us what you think. All right. I, on the other hand, I think my joke is going to be a quintessential dad joke, and I think it's going to be really good. So here's mine. What is Forrest Gump's password?
1 Forrest 1.
Ah!
Oh.
Ah! So his stuff would not be safe around you because you could hack into it.
Well, it's not hacking if I know the password.
Yeah. Dad joke, sad joke, bad joke, mad joke, cool lad joke. I don't know. All right, Paige, you sure go.
What's worse than finding a worm in your fresh apple?
Finding a worm in your mouth?
Getting shot in the face.
Oh, God.
I was thinking, I'm like, there's so many things I can think of that are worse, but I don't know where this is going.
That was completely left field. Dad joke, sad joke, bad joke, plaid joke, recently dad joke.
Bit rad.
All right, Canadagraphs, your second one. Go for it.
I bought some shoes from a drug dealer. I don't know what he laced them with, but I've been tripping all day.
Dad joke, sad joke, somewhat dad joke. I think that really is a dad joke, actually. All right. What does a vegetarian zombie eat?
Grains.
Are you literally looking these up as you're typing them in when I say them and you're finding?
No, it's just that you're really bad at just getting jokes. You must just go the most.
I looked these up before we even started tonight. I was like, I'm gonna put these in my memories.
I can just see Eric at his home. He's like, got a list. He's like, oh, these are good. No one's gonna get these.
Everyone gets my jokes. Everyone gets them. Everyone, even Black Current Super Duper gets them. I don't care if it's a bad dad joke anymore. I don't even want to know. Chat, don't tell me. I don't care. All right, sure, go, Pagey.
You sure? It's a bit edgy.
Why not? You know all the dad jokes in the world, so go ahead, go. You know them all.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
To get to the other side.
Well, to get to the other side, but suicide for the ones that were slow.
These jokes are super edgy. You know that? They're the edgiest of jokes. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining us for this dark after party. Apparently it went very dark at the end. Boba's chiming in. How does Harry Potter get rid of a rash?
Expecto Patronum.
I bet Ben would know because he's actually Harry Potter. He would know. Tom says he becomes British. That's hilarious. Oh gosh, look, with quit itch. You know, you would fit in very well with our dad jokes because that's just as awful as some of ours there. Anyway, we're out of here. If you're watching this on Twitch, which I know we had a few Twitch viewers, if you're still there, you can watch all this on playback on my YouTube channel. For links to Canadagraphs social media, all that stuff, and Pagey, it's going to be down in the info box. You guys probably already know where to find them anyway, but if it's your first time here, go over and check those guys out. Also, this will be available on playback shortly, unless Pagey had me double demonetized, and then maybe take a little while for it to come back. Yeah, of course. Of course. Again, don't forget, next week, there will not be a twerking Santa. There will not be a whopping Santa on here. There will be a Santa. My Santa cosplay will be next week. So
Snake.
Stop in. Anyway, we're out of here. I will catch you guys later on.
Like the video.